do I work a full-time job that I don't necessarily enjoy to get the money to go and get the land, or do I do the extreme and give it all up and just hope and struggle for a bit and try and find some land somehow? And how do I get the land if I don't have money? Welcome back, Thrivers, to this week's episode. It's a bit of a different one. As you can see, I'm here on a computer. And I just had a free discovery call with some people who are looking, they want to do what I've done. And the Wi-Fi wasn't great. And so I've had to record a video for them because they've asked me the questions. And the main issue is, how do you get started? How do I get the money to get the land at that bridging point? How do I get over there and be living on the land and becoming self-sufficient off grid? That bridging point is really, really hard. So that is the question they asked, and that is what I've answered. So enjoy. If you have that question yourself, then enjoy this video as though I'm talking to you. Hey, Ariel and Bay. Unfortunately, that Wi-Fi issue was there, but that's okay. I'm going to record this and hopefully this will help you. So you're in the right spot. You're asking the right questions, and I've definitely been in that position where I'm like, okay, what do I do? Do I just head down and focus on head down and just do a job that is not great and just focus on the money, so that you can get to where you want to go to first? Or do you take a leap and a leap like I did, where I came to Bali 10 years ago with $200 in my pocket, and go to that extreme, and sort of follow, where it flows and eventually get to where I am. Now they're the two extremes, and what I want to suggest to you is somewhere in the middle. So, because it took me a long time, and especially if you've got kids, you've got that beautiful baby. I'm not sure if you had other kids, but I saw the one little beautiful baby in the small video that we got. To have children is a huge responsibility. When I came to Bali first, I had no responsibilities other than trying to sort my own self out. So I like to suggest something in the middle. There's, Anastasia, talks about coming into the kin's domains and all of those kind of things. But Vladimir also introduces the idea of entrepreneurs, which she's like, okay, it's the entrepreneurs. And I've had conversations with other kin's domain people, and the settlements that seem to be the most successful are entrepreneurs, people that are sort of helping others with a service, or following their passion that gives something to other people. And that helps with the income, because like we all have to agree, we still do live in a commercial world. There is money that if I want to come and fly and visit you guys, I'm going to need some cash. Yes, I could exchange some tomatoes for cash, but I'm going to need to grow a lot of tomatoes to do that. So what I suggest is trying to have your feet in both spots, both sides. While I was doing my other work, I was still growing pots. When I first, I always, for the last 10 years, always had at least one pot, and it was always an avocado tree, but I always had a few pots that were around with me. So I started dabbling in nature and getting those little sparks of joy and connection. When I moved to a house that was just a cement ground, I built some raised beds and I started to have courtyards. Meanwhile, I was earning money and all of those kind of things. COVID changed things because that flipped. I lost a lot of the main income. And so what I suggest you do is, I think over here in the extreme, if you are really focused down, you can end up living 5-10 years of miserable life, and then it could end before you even get to enjoy it. The idea is to enjoy the journey. Nothing in nature rushes, yet everything is accomplished. That's Lao Tzu. So how do you find a way to earn some income and start to find kin's domains and those kind of things? So there's a couple of options here. There's opening your mind and going, okay, there's a lot of people, especially you're in Texas, there'd be a lot of people that have huge ranches, huge spaces, and you can actually go to them. And I've seen some, I can't think of the YouTube channel that I watched, but they just went to someone that had a huge amount of land and said, hey, we would love to look after, even if it's just a tiny portion. It could even be not the full 2.5 acres Anastasia talks about, but it's just like 1 acre or half an acre or whatever. If we could pop a caravan on there and start to grow some food, and any of the produce we make, we will give to you. Or can we start to experiment here. And that gives you a chance to start to learn. Yes, it's not your land yet. In that particular case, I saw that example was eventually, because the owners saw what they did, they said, if you want that corner of the land, you can have it. Let's get into an exchange and we'll work out how to do it. And so you didn't need cash. There was an agreement. They worked their way through and they eventually got the land that way. So there's trying to think outside the box on that kind of concept. Then there's also, what is it that I love to do? What is it that I want to do mostly in my life? And it's finding that passion. And for me, it took a few years. It wasn't until I did the permaculture design course that I was like, yes, nature, I love it. I want to do things around nature. And it's still, I started to learn about syntropic agroforestry. And then I started to learn about the soil food web. And I was like, oh, I want to help people with the microbes in the soil. That gets exciting. And so I'm slowly eventually moving towards eventually getting a certificate so that I can be a soil food web consultant, is the full transition into doing things where I get to serve, but doing things I'm really enjoy. But in that meantime, what I'm doing as an entrepreneur, as you know, as I'm building the online Thriving with Nature community. And that Thriving with Nature community is about bringing leaders who are experts in growing food naturally, in preserving food, in medicinal herbs, in DIY, in solar, in dyeing clothes, in everything you need to know to grow, to become self-sufficient, off-grid, all of those kind of things. And inside there, that is where our people will you get to ask questions, and because you're going to make mistakes. It's let's learn off the shoulders of each other. And so this community has all the resources. It's got a database, so you can be standing there and okay, what do I do with a carrot? How do I grow it? How do I harvest it? Which parts can I eat? All of those kind of things. It's got courses on all the different areas, and then it's got weekly support calls and monthly coaching calls and things like that inside there. So I created this community, and it's like, okay, so I want to learn. I'm starting to bridge myself over to here. I dive into that community. I'm starting to learn. I love this. I want to share this. Let me share it with people, and I want to reward you for that, and you get a commission for that. So that what I'm trying to do with this community is create that bridging gap of helping you build an income. So you're over here doing this, then in an hour or something a day, I know it's very hard. It's especially here, maybe you go full time, and then if you can go 3/4 time, and then spend time going, okay, I want to learn. Let me tell more people about this community. So I'm going to be building a course inside the community called Self-Sufficient Online Income. And whether it's about promoting the community or whether it's about something that you're really good at that you want to share, the principles that you'll learn in the Self-Sufficient Online community will help you to build that entrepreneur business. And so then you're suddenly leaping and you're getting more and more joy. And as the income comes up in this entrepreneurial sort of role, you can start to step down. And then there's not as much stress, especially as a young family and all of those kind of things. Then all of a sudden you're here and you're spending more of your day talking about the things you love. Like for me, I'm finding more and more I'm talking to you guys, people like yourselves who are either from the Anastasia community or are just people that want to grow their own food or become self-sufficient. I'm finding that I'm talking more and more about that than it is what I did in my other side of life. And so that starts to bring joy. Meanwhile, over here, you're growing a little bit of food and you're learning, oh, I killed that. Why did I kill that? Let me think about it. Let me ask the community. Let me do that. So I see the Thriving in Nature community as this bridging gap because it's a journey, not a destination. It's not like I want the Kins domain and I just move on into the Kins domain and then I'm totally happy. It's the everyday watching a flower bud. Today I went over to the land because I'm not on my land yet. I'm still a kilometer away. I haven't quite nailed that piece yet. But I saw the echinacea flower for the first time in my life with my own eyes. I felt it. That was just so much joy. It's not like you want to just walk on and it's there. You've got no connection to that. But I've watched this echinacea grow. I planted this back when my father and stepmother were here in, oh gosh, I think it was August last year. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 9 months I've watched the echinacea grow and I feel so connected to it. And it's been the journey. Every day I'm looking, how is it going? Oh, it's starting to do this. And so it's enjoying the journey. try not to, we do get caught up in, and I've done this myself, do not get caught up in the money side of things. Yes, we need money and you need to not have your head in the sand, but it's like, okay, if I know that I'm eventually coming here to this journey, even, once I move on the land, there's still so much more to do and learn. And it's the journey. It's the everyday of seeing a new flower or watching a tree die and wondering why did that happen, or really enjoying every single moment. So my suggestion is, whether it's coming into the Thriving with Nature community, I love that. I would love that. But what I want you to sit down and actually think, okay, what is it that I find joy or curiosity in? You may not quite know what you're passionate about, or maybe you do, but if you know what it is that brings you joy, and then it's like, how can I spend a little bit of time doing that, and without the pressure of earning income? Because my whole goal is, if you want to grow your own food, you need to learn this new way of living. That's what the Thriving with Nature community is. Share that with other people, earn money. And then eventually, one of the 4 pillars of the community is creativity. Eventually, I want you to be able to sit in expression and paint, sing songs, dance, be in that creativity without having the expectation of that being your income. You can make money from it for sure, but it's like, what if you did it just for doing it for the pure joy? That to me is just the essence of it all. But in saying that, you may be so good at what you do creatively, cooking, whatever it is, creating amazing medicinal herbal remedies and selling those, then that is where you want to find how you can gift that. The more people you serve, the more money you can make. And not from a take, but as from a value exchange. I've provided value. If you get so much value, you're like, yeah, I'm okay to pay you some money like that. Let me give that to you, because what you've given to me feels more valuable than just those pieces of paper or dollars. But to me, I'm like, awesome. Now I can go and buy some extra plants or do some extra things. So there's a value exchange. Try not to get caught up in commercialism, greed, and all of that, looking at it as a value exchange. But yeah, so hopefully from this, I've inspired you to start the journey. That's the thing, because we get caught up and stuck in, I have to make more money to make the house. And it's like, okay, let me try and expand my mind. How can I stepping stone get to the middle area? Some people burn the ship, jump over here and do what I did and flew to Bali with $200 in my pocket. That was back in 2013. It wasn't until 2017 that I fully unraveled and started to see permaculture and stuff. So, because I had to learn a lot of things. But what I encourage you to do is like, okay, yes, I've got this good paying job. Can I reduce it 10%? And in that 10% of time, I start to build something that starts to bring in income that is a little more aligned with the life that I want to live. Yeah. So that's what I'd say. Come join the Thriving with Nature community if you want to. Otherwise, but just reach out. Hopefully, if you've got any other questions, please let me know. Yeah, hopefully that helps. And enjoy the journey and start slowly moving towards this life you want. I have a painting. You may see it. It's on my website. You'll see the painting. That painting stares at me all the time. I'm like, does my life look like this? It was March 2020 when I looked at that painting and I said, my life does not look like this. I need to start making it look like that, because that is the vision that I have wanted in my life. That was March 2020. I had painted that in 2014. So it took me 6 years to click and go, you wanted that vision, but you haven't even started stepping stone towards it. And March 2020 to now, already there is so many more, like my whole life actually starts to look like that. It really is so close to looking like that. So yeah, I believe in you. You've got this. I can't wait to visit you wherever the land is. And don't get too caught up in you have to find your family land. You could have a bridging land just to start learning, start growing, start connecting with nature. It's a journey, not a destination. So how was that? Did you get something out of that? Let me know. If you've got your own questions, hit down there. There's a free discovery call. Come talk to me for 20-30 minutes and see if I can help you on your journey to self-sufficient. Otherwise, like I said in there, come join the Thriving with Nature community and not only learn how to grow, learn how to become self-sufficient, but also potentially earn an income. All right, the links are down below. Thank you so much for watching. thumbs up if you got some value out of this. It really, really helps me so I can spread the message so everyone can learn how to thrive with nature, and share it with those people that you think would get value out of it. Thank you so much for being here. Bye for now. Happy thriving.